So with Molly's Game coming out this weekend, I figured I would take the time to talk about not only one of my favorite films, but a film that was written by Aaron Sorkin and also has an all-star cast led by the man, the myth, and the legend. So A Few Good Men is the story of Lieutenant Daniel Kaffee, portrayed by Tom Cruise, who's very early in his career of being an attorney inside of the US military. And he gets a very special case on his desk, because in the Cuba section of this military, Lieutenant Dawson and Private Downey have been accused of doing a code red, and that's basically code phrase for hazing somebody, except when they haze somebody, apparently they accidentally killed him. And so now, Lieutenant Kaffee, Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, and Kevin Polluck are assigned, and they have to defend these guys and prove their innocence. Now, I'm not exactly sure where I should start with the praises for this movie, because A Few Good Men has a very particular place in my heart, because it's not only the start of where I learned about a lot of my favorite actors, but it's also where I learned about great writing, great acting, and just a great overall film, especially knowing that Aaron Sorkin wrote this as a play as well for stage, not just for film. And I guess we should start with the man himself, Aaron Sorkin. Honestly, when it comes to Moneyball, Steve Jobs, or any of the other writing that Aaron Sorkin has done, what can we say about the man? He is an expert and he is a master when it comes to crafting screenplays. And all the time, I mean, hearing an Aaron Sorkin script is kind of like a Tarantino script for me, except, you know, less vulgar and less on the profanities. It just can't be emphasized anymore that whenever Aaron Sorkin dialogue is thrown on screen, you're just locked in, it holds your attention. What he does for film is life-changing. And I know personally for me, it was life-changing because this film introduced me to Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Kevin Bacon, Demi Moore, Kevin Polluck, Kiefer Sutherland, on and on and on. Every actor in this movie is so good. And the great thing is, it's not just the portrayal that the actors give these characters, but it's also the character arcs that these characters have. Because almost every single character within A Few Good Men, they're written so specifically. Each individual character, they start the film one way, and then by the end of the film, they have a completely different personality and they have a completely different change. And this story is something that I admire, because I don't think I'd heard of a film before A Few Good Men that had actually done a story like this. Cruise's character in this movie, besides the fact that it's not exactly what you think of when you think of a Tom Cruise performance today, it's very much like Collateral. At the very beginning of this film, Cruise is very reluctant to defend these guys. He doesn't want anything to do with them. He figures they should just be sentenced off. And so much stuff happens in this film that you just see his character change, go through the writing that Aaron Sorkin has put in before. It is so obvious that Aaron Sorkin has a profound respect for the US military, and it was great to see. And the real tragedy of A Few Good Men, besides all of the praises here, I'm not exactly sure if it was nominated for any Oscars. I mean, if it were up to me, this film would have been up for Best Picture, Tom Cruise would have been up for Best Actor, Demi Moore for Best Supporting Actress, and Jack Nicholson would be up for Best Supporting Actor. Jack Nicholson does what he always does. He gives a great performance. I have not seen a Jack Nicholson performance that I have loved so much since I saw The Shining. What he does in A Few Good Men, I mean, he just makes you hate him in such a good way, in the best way. You'll see what I mean if you watch the film, which you should, because in my opinion, this is one of the best movies ever made. Every aspect of this movie I love. From the writing, to the characters, to the story progression, to the character arcs, I can't say one bad thing about A Few Good Men. It's got so many positives to it, and guys, you know what that means. In my life, that simply means that A Few Good Men is suit-worthy. Aaron Sorkin's a master of what he does, and that's that. Once again, guys, I gotta apologize that I'm not gonna be able to see Insidious or Molly's Game this weekend. It's just, I was snowed in, and the weather and the traffic is just horrendous, so the theater chain near me is shut down. But, you know what that means. as always, it is what you guys say that matters. So I'm just going to take the time here, say thank you again, and I want to know what your favorite Aaron Sorkin film is. I mean, obviously Molly's Game is coming out this weekend. It came out last year. But as far as his writing goes, what is your favorite film that he's done? Leave a comment down in the comments section so we can get a conversation started. And if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right there and subscribe and become part of the fray of nerds who love cinema. You all have a fantastic day.